All right, SummerSlam 1990. We're back. It is in the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The attendance was a little over 19,000 people. And the tagline for this was "The Heat Returns." We're coming off of the Great American Bash, right?
Yeah, and the bar's been set pretty low coming out of that show, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think wasn't at WrestleMania 6 we had like 28 matches. It felt like, right? It was like 3 hours
Yeah, there
of
were so many matches. There's so many, but all of
28
them were like
five-minute
45
matches.
seconds long.
Yeah. So I mean, this we have 9 matches, kind of a change of pace. Some of the matches were pretty long. By that I mean probably the last 2 matches, I'd assume were the longest, right?
Yeah, and then Heart Foundation and Demolition was almost 15 minutes. That was actually the longest match on this show.
Oh yeah, 2 out of 3 falls.
It, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it was 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, but so let's just get right into it. We start off uh a different commentator group this time, Cameron. It's
It
Roddy
sure is.
Piper and our guy Vince McMahon. Your guy, my bad, not our
Yeah,
guy.
I think uh I think the days of Gorilla and Jesse might be gone, man. I think we're past those days now. But at least we knew we were in the good old days, you know? At
Yeah,
least we knew.
thank you for what we started in '86. Those 5 great years. Thank you so much.
84, really, because that's when the first Mania was, right? Or was it 85? 85.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but '85. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whew. Uh,
I'll never forget that wrestling classic, dude. I'll never forget watching that.
some people would say it's the greatest of all time.
The greatest what of all time?
The
Wrestling classic? Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
greatest of all time.
Yeah, it was definitely the best wrestling classic that I've ever watched.
Better than every Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it more than any Super Bowl I've ever seen. And I've seen some pretty bad Super Bowls.
But yeah, we start off the night with some tag team action. We have the Rockers, our guy Shawn Michaels, still in a tag team with his buddy Michael Jannetty versus a new tag team,
Marty Jannetty.
Michael Jannetty, right?
Marty.
What did I say?
Michael.
Oh, yeah, that's on me. Uh,
No, I love Michael Jannetty. Hell yeah.
versus Power and Glory, which is Hercules and Paul Roma.
Yeah, Hercules is a heel again, and Paul Roma is no longer having to work dark matches. He gets to be in a tag team, a pretty cool looking tag team. I think.
I mean, yeah, you have the god of Olympus and some random guy. Whatever happened to the Brooklyn Brawler? I miss him.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Brooklyn Brawler. He's just been in these dark matches with Paul Roma.
I wonder when he's gonna get his shine. Yeah, Cameron, what'd you think about this match? Not too long, probably just over. I don't know. I'm gonna guess like 4 minutes, right?
It was exactly 6 minutes apparently.
Oh, damn, let's go.
Um, yeah. So of course we get a hot start. We got to get straight to that. Which God, given coming off of Great American Bash, I was so happy with. So they go straight to them, but then Michael Jannetty, he gets a series of arm drags, makes the heels run into each other, and then a wonderful little shine sequence to end that hot start. I thought it was a pretty cool little opener, but eventually they get him. And did what's happened to pro wrestling referees in the 90s? They have all gone. Like, what's happened to them? Do you know what I'm talking about?
In what
And
sense?
it's not just in WWE. It's also in WCW. The refs have, just for lack of a better term, gone completely fucking stupid.
They're easily
Like they,
manipulated.
they're easily manipulated. They're easily distracted. Sometimes almost like too intentionally. Like sometimes it's too obvious that the ref's like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to see the chair shot." Oh, and like conveniently looks away, and then now decides like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop this baby face from doing a double team move," even though I've been watching the heels do it for 15 fucking minutes. But anyway, where was I at? Yeah, he's distracted with Slick, like blatantly not seeing the heels just both in the ring at the same time. Like he'll just be like, "Hey, Slick, what's going on out there? I noticed your guy getting in the ring. I don't want you trying anything." I don't know, man. It just seems like the intelligence of wrestling referees has plummeted, and I understand that's part of the gimmick and part of the charm. But goddamn, dude, you see what I'm saying?
No, I do
You get
understand where you're coming from. You see it a lot
what?
nowadays. I miss where
Okay,
Teddy Long was the referee and he took no shit. So
it's okay. So it's funny you say that. Okay. The reason I think that maybe you haven't noticed this yet is because I've already watched the show after this, and I watched Halloween Havoc, and the refs are just god awful. Spoiler next week, and
okay.
I guess it's just because it's been 2 weeks in a row like this. It's just easy to blame the '90s because we're into the '90s now. There's no more '89s to shake off except fucking Hulk Hogan. But anyway, where was
Isn't
I
it?
at on my
I
thing?
actually have to
Go
add
ahead.
something real quick on the whole overall of the show. Isn't it weird when the main persona of the night is not motherfucking Hulk Hogan?
It is very strange, but like I still feel like they put more emphasis on Hogan and Earthquake um than they did Ultimate Warrior. Like it's occasionally like, oh, Ultimate Warrior is fighting Rick Rude. Here's the Rick Rude promo. Here's an Ultimate Warrior promo. But like between every match, like Hulk Hogan's taking on the Earthquake, and then you get the big Hogan promo, then the big Earthquake promo, and then Hulk Hogan's taking on the Earthquake. Um, Even during like the 45-minute cage setup interview session, they really didn't like. That's really the only time they started hyping up the fact that the main event was even a cage match.
No, I would agree with that. Um, I wish there were shots, or no, I guess there's not gonna be because the cage is not suspended above the ring. But I wish it was just
Yeah.
shots of, the dangling cage, like what's gonna happen tonight in the main event. It's like, oh shit, we still have a steel cage match later. Not, oh, I wonder, or I forgot what the main event is. Maybe I gotta go check the poster outside to see it's Ultimate Warrior, versus motherfucking Rick Rude in a steel cage match, but.
Like it didn't even occur to me that it was a cage match until it was taken forever to put it up.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that might be the only reason the match went on last because they had to put the cage up. In a world where it could raise up, Hogan and Earthquake might have main evented this shit.
um, sorry.
Anyway, we're talking about the first match still, this tag match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
even then, like Jenny will get a small package, and the ref is just like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" Um, uh, let's see, but Janetti he gets small hopes here and there where he can't make the tag, and it's like the ref is just awful on purpose. I really noted a lot about the ref here in the match. Like, let's
uh,
see, Janetti he starts to make a comeback, hits his big fist drop from the top, and they just like they toss Janetti so high into the air with like all of their power, all of their glory. Holy shit. Like they beat the fuck out of Janetti here. Like my next note is Hercules just takes Janetti's head off. Yeah, because that goes right into the finish, right? Where like Hercules suplexes Janetti off the top, and then like as soon as they land, Paul Roma lands with his big ass splash. It looked fucking awesome.
yep. And then Paul Roma pins him with just his foot.
Well, yeah, because he spent the last like 6 minutes getting his ass kicked. Like, that was literally the entire match. Was Janetti got a bit of a shine. They kicked his ass. They didn't stop kicking his ass. They never let Shawn Michaels save him, and they just beat him. Holy hell! And then
Sh-
they're not even done because after they get the win, they start beating the fuck out of Shawn Michaels.
yeah, shout out Marty Jannetty being the MVP of the match, honestly.
And like now, I want to see Power and Glory against Demolition, but I also haven't made it far enough into the card when I wrote that note to realize that Demolition are heels now. But I liked Power and Glory. I thought they looked pretty awesome. That's what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Was show up and just beat the fuck out of two guys and two guys that sold like hell for him because Sean never even got into the ring from the initial attack, and then they beat the living shit out of Marty Jannetty.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, we go into our next thing. We have Mr. Perfect and Bobby Heenan, who were interviewed by Sean Moody. Bobby Heenan, top 3 manager for you right now?
Uh, yeah, I feel like Jim Cornette might be my number one at the moment. That
Right.
or Jimmy Hart, but Heenan, Hart, and Cornette are definitely like the three. Maybe the rankings change from time to time, but they've definitely been very consistent and like high on the list.
God, I love Jim Cornette, dude. I love Jim Cornette so much. He's so awesome. Literally the best. Uh, but yeah, so basically we go into our next match. Cameron, Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornadoes here.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering like why he called Texas Tornado and when they're just literally referring to him as Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah,
But
I
whatever.
know.
It's just cool to have him.
But yeah, we have Mr. Perfect versus Texas Tornado for the Intercontinental Championship. I think this is when Kerry Von Erich wrestled like he has a fake leg. I think this is the fake leg era.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like the thing where he won the belt from Flair after he pulled off like the fake foot, the prosthetic leg or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's already happened by now.
Yeah, I think I remember looking it up. Um, yeah, so
While
he lost his leg in
okay, good.
'86. So
Yeah, there you go. So this human tornado or not human tornado, that's a different guy. God, I can't wait to talk about human tornado one day. Texas tornado. This is the first case of a trend that I've noticed where wrestlers are not the like human embodiment of whatever their gimmick name would suggest. They are that thing. So Texas Tornado, it's not Kerry Von Erich, and he's like he has the spirit of a tornado. No, he's a fucking tornado. This dude's literally a tornado, and for some reason the building isn't being destroyed by the fact that this actual fucking tornado is in the building. Um, like, do you realize this trend that I'm talking about? Because this happens with an anvil later on. This happens with foundations, with demolition, the actual act of demolition, earthquaking. Like
yeah,
this building should be fucking obliterated right now.
yeah. No, he Tex Tornado spins around like the Tasmanian devil, dude. You would think that shit's about to blow away, so
Also, Kerry Von Erich is fucking huge. Like
he
this
is.
dude's in great shape.
I'm trying to think from the movie he's like going to the Olympics for wrestling or something or powerlifting or something like that in the beginning of it. But it was that Olympics that got canceled back in the 80s. I forget what it was, but yeah, he's like so yeah, I think he's been huge forever, so it's just crazy.
I mean, I'm sure he has. You don't just I don't know. Well, I guess some people do just decide to get huge one day, but anyway. Uh,
No way he wins this match though.
Tornado. Well, dude, we got to enjoy Mr. Perfect being IC champ for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell, man?
it's so stupid.
We
Um
missed this dude's entire title run between Mania and SummerSlam.
uh some of the notes I wrote down, I wrote Kerry kind of looked like the Ultimate Warrior with how jacked he was. Um, I wrote I just love Piper on commentary. I could if we had
He really is great.
Roddy Piper and Jesse Ventura together, I think it would have been way better. Um, Mr. Perfect was screaming at Kerry Von Erich throughout the whole match, letting him know that he's in the ring with Mr. Perfect. Uh, what else? Kerry Von Erich hits the Iron Claw on him. Uh, and then what happens? Oh, Mr. Perfect was slapping him in the face. Uh, and then the Tex or Kerry Von Erich, he no sells it. Then he slingshots Perfect to the turnbuckle. And then that's when he does the Iron Claw on him. And then he does the shit. He does his gimmick where he hits a spin punch or
He's a tornado, man. He's
yeah.
an actual tornado.
And yeah, I just can't believe he spun around. Like, okay.
Well, a tornado. That's what tornadoes do,
I
man.
know, I
Especially in
know.
Texas.
And then he
Especially in
covers
Texas.
our guy Mr. Perfect for the pinfall and wins 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
New
Uh-huh.
intercontinental champion, Kerry Von Erich. Congratulations, Kerry Von Erich.
Yep. I really hope that at some point we get to see Mr. Perfect hold the belt for a little bit like, again, right? Like he can't be that good and go like he was being pushed significantly. Like he was being made to look like, an important person. And that was his run. Like, holy fuck,
I
man.
actually
Like
think
Honky Tonk Man gets a year and some change, but Mr. Perfect gets not even an entire SummerSlam or Mania to SummerSlam block. Like what the fuck is that?
what's cool is like it only works because how good Mr. Perfect is. Like he helps make this match a lot better than I think other asshole heels would, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out. Uh and so we kick it back. We have, Vince and Roddy talking for a second. Then we go backstage and you see Bobby Heenan. He's talking about some shit, and then all of a sudden, or not Bobby Heenan, but Sean or Mean Gene's talking about some shit, and then all of a sudden, Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect show up, and they're claiming that the match was rigged, and it was some of the worst officiating they've ever seen. And I think Cameron, you would
He
agree
didn't
with
even
them. So
last match. He didn't watch the last match at all. He wouldn't be saying that.
Uh, but then we go to our next match. Cameron, women's wrestling is back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
Next,
guess it is.
the next match.
Psychosis from the future is here. Pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah,
cool. And he's disguised as Sensational Sherry. So that or it's fucking Willow. Like have you you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know who Willow is now.
Willow. Oh, dude, Willow is like the evil, tortured, altered ego of Jeff Hardy or whatever.
Oh, I'm seeing that now. He wears the face paint over the eyes like a mask, like a
You
Ninja
see,
Turtle.
you see what I'm
Oh,
saying,
and I
man?
see the mask. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is that TNA Jeff Hardy?
He sure is. Sure is TNA Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, because I didn't remember him doing that in WWE. When does he show up?
They show up in like 99.
Can't wait for that.
Well, back to women's wrestling.
Yeah, we have
Okay,
Queen
women's wrestling's
Sherry
over.
versus Sapphire. And
Yep, we sure do.
I'll do a quick thing for
Yeah,
this match.
yeah, sure.
Sapphire comes out, crazy ass headgear. But it all matches. Her dress, her shoes, her headgear, it all matches. So good for her. She's like a zebra, but it's more condensed, if you get what I'm saying. Uh that's just a color scheme. Uh you know, Sapphire's music hits. It's Dusty Rhodes' song. Where is she? What are we doing here?
I don't know, man.
Sapphire. Sapphire, there's a match going on.
Yeah, Gene's looking for her. He can't find her. No one's been able to find her all day, man.
And then oh my god, what's his name? The ring announcer. I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know. Howard Finkel.
Howard Finkel. He's like, if Sapphire does not come out in 30 seconds, she'll forfeit the match.
No, he says she'll risk forfeiture.
Oh, okay.
Risk it. Not she'll just forfeit. She'll risk it. So like if she doesn't show up, they might consider the fact that she can't win, and we're gonna have to say she lost.
And then so uh he, eventually gives 5, 4, 3, 2, and they call the match. Sherry wins by Sapphire not wanting to come out to the ring. And even in 1990, we still get no women's wrestling.
Sherry did a nice little job of kind of imitating the mannerisms and like characteristics of Randy Savage. That's all
Like,
I got.
okay, you mean like whenever she was waiting in the ring and stuff?
Yeah, like she's kind of like she's his manager now, and you can tell, or his valet, whatever it is. Manager is probably a better term, and especially in comparison to Elizabeth. But
I miss Elizabeth.
anyway,
Hopefully she's back soon.
well, she was back last show, and nothing really came of that.
Yeah. I'm just a working man. Sorry, I love Dusty Rhodes' intro song so much. So then we
Yeah, well,
kick
they
it.
played it twice for you.
Yeah, we kick it backstage. Dusty Rhodes interview. Where's Sapphire? I don't know. I haven't seen her. Blah 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 blah. And then Hacksaw comes by randomly, and he's like,
Yeah, yeah,
Dusty,
good old
I'm helping you.
reporting, reporting. In.
Don't worry, I'll be looking for Sapphire.
I wrote Jim Duggan reports in like a cartoon service dog. Where
That's
do you want me to
good.
look now, boss?
That's so good. Oh my
And then
god.
he starts giving Sapphire lore, and he heavily hints Landon that she's come in like she started getting a lot of nice jewelry and a lot of nice clothing, and it's kind of like she started have a lot of money out of nowhere. It's a little suspicious.
But who
Wouldn't you
who
agree?
could afford that?
I don't know. Do you think Sapphire would ever consider barking like a dog or bouncing a ball 10 times
Kissing feet?
or kissing me?
Is that still the best promo we've ever seen? Or video
I
package?
kind of think I kind of think that or like honestly that fucking bodybuilding contest might be one of my favorite things. It might like honestly be one of my favorite things we've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it, and I was thinking they should just recreate that now. But I hope they
Yeah.
never recreate that. Oh my god, is that so
Also,
good?
Hunka Honky Love is way up there.
Did you ever YouTube it after that show we recorded?
No, no, I didn't.
Dude, I did it like 3 times. The next 3 showers I took, I turned on YouTube and I listened to the song because it's out there. But next match we have everyone's favorite wrestler Tito Santana, unfortunately, versus the Warlord, still no Barbarian, with
Yeah, it's kind of
Warlord's.
weird that Warlord and Slick are baby faces now. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Oh, thank God. It's weird. Yeah, Slick's a asshole with other people, but he's so nice with Warlord. Uh,
Yeah, he was really a pain in the ass during the Power and Glory match. It's weird that he's got babyface babyface clients in Warlord.
Now I texted you this last week. Warlord looked just like Stone Cold, man, but a little taller. I don't. He looked.
Yeah,
If you look up SummerSlam Warlord, it's literally Stone Cold, with Undertaker height.
and I wrote where I wrote that he's like Warlord is definitely big, but like just big enough to be considered big. But to me, he looked like if Val Venus was jacked as fuck. Like, not that Val Venus wasn't in great shape. Val Venus was in phenomenal shape, but he wasn't like Warlord huge.
Yeah.
And Warlord looked like just drew a fucking like you photoshopped a better body onto like a bigger, not better, but bigger body onto Val Venus.
Well, I wonder what Val's doing nowadays.
I don't know, probably something like really loving weed.
My man. um, but yeah, what'd you think about this match? Not too long again. Some of these matches are just there's more
Nah,
storylines and background or backstage video than matches, I feel like.
he basically does what Vader did to Z-Man last show. Like they kind of go back and forth for a minute because it's still Santana.
Yeah.
Um, but it's mostly Warlord.
Yeah, I mean,
Santana gets a crossbody for the longest fucking pin ever, and then Warlord just gets his foot on the rope, whatever. Then a big power slam for the win. It serves the purpose of giving Warlord a credible win, and like Santana made him look good and did enough to keep credibility without taking away from how dominant Warlord's supposed to look. Like it was still Warlord beating somebody with tenure like Tito Santana.
yeah, I think they also because I can see where you're making the Vader connection at because even in this match, I wrote like the Warlord when he kicks out of Santana towards the beginning of the match, he literally sends him out of the ring when he hits or kicks him off of him during the
You're
pinfall.
never supposed to think that Warlord's not gonna win. You know, it's
Yeah,
he
Warlord,
just had a more
WWF
credible
Future
opponent than
Champion.
Warlord's already done the thing that I most know Warlord for doing,
What was it?
and that was the Royal Rumble where
Oh,
he went right out.
yeah, quickest before Santino.
Yeah.
Dude, if I'm ever in a Rumble, I know it never happened, but I'll be like, let's break the record.
I
You think they'll ever do that for me? Probably not.
don't
Um,
know.
but yeah, so we go backstage again. We have our guy Sean Mooney, uh, interviewing Demolition. Guess what? They have a new team member.
They sure do. They have a
It's
new member named Crush.
yeah, Axe Smash
Snap
and
and
Crush.
Crackle have found their pop, man.
Yo, that's good. Oh, you're you lucky bitch. That's a great pull from you. Holy fuck, that's great. God, I hate that you said that. That's so good from you.
Now you have to make a demolition logo with them in the like on the Rice Krispie treats box.
Yeah, let me write that down. That's dude, that's fucking good. Damn. Yeah, just do that face
So
over.
a lot of information in this promo here. Not only do we have a new member with Crush, but we learn that basically like they're Freebird ruling the belt, so any two can defend them, but one of them is banned from ringside or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But that kind of matters, but doesn't matter because the as I mentioned back at the first tag match, these refs suck. Like uh, I don't know if the refs are drunk or high or like working under a lot of pressure or something, but something is wrong. But we'll get there, I guess. Anyway, we also learned that the Legion of Doom have jumped ship to the WWF and they are targeting Demolition. And that's
Legion
a
of
pretty
Doom.
significant jump, I think.
Yeah, no, wait, the Legion of Doom? It was them. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah, okay. Gotcha. Uh but yeah, no, it is awesome that they are now over here in WWF now. I uh I wanted to okay, yeah. Our next match though, WWF Tag Team Championship. Like we mentioned earlier, best 2 out of 3 falls match. We have Demolition versus the Hart Dynasty. We're
Hurt
getting big.
Foundation.
Dude, oh my. And I remember a long time ago I said the same thing and you corrected me
Yeah.
and you're like
Yeah.
can't have a dynasty without a foundation. And I always think that when I'm writing my notes.
Uh where is the okay, so it's funny you say that because they do another promo about how they're actual foundations, and dude, and I think Jim Neidhart takes this as seriously as I am because this is when he like sarcastically leans into it and he goes, they don't pay me to be smart, they pay me to be tough, like an anvil, right? Hence the name, right?
It's
So
so
he
stupid.
gets it. I'm an actual anvil. I'm not a person that's like, tough and stout and, and heavy like an anvil. I'm an anvil. I'm the anvil. Literally an anvil. And we are foundations that have two actual hearts beating as one because they're also hearts. Don't forget that. Like holy fuck, what is going on?
Just kiss already, am I right?
The, the 90s are insane,
I love
but I
90s
love it.
wrestling. 90s wrestling is
Yeah.
we're barely a year in and I'm in love with 90s wrestling.
Yeah, bro. WCW is getting fucking weird. Like I know
Uh,
I'm a show ahead of you. I cannot wait for you to watch Halloween Havoc.
it's
WCW is getting fucking weird.
it's less than 2 hours. It's a quick watch compared to other shows. I'm
Yeah,
excited for it.
and I'm not like detracting from this because I thought this was a bad show. I have so much good to say about this show when we get to the end, but not a lot of not a lot of bad things to say, honestly.
Not a lot of bad Super Bowls. Uh,
I
yeah,
don't I don't think I've seen a bad SummerSlam yet, honestly. These things have been pretty good.
yeah.
They're
I'm
more
ex-
consistent than WrestleMania, honestly.
yes. Oh my God. Uh, uh. So the Hearts, they were in control most of the start of this match. Roddy Piper also makes a funny joke and says these demolition guys are severely ugly. Uh, Also, I forgot to mention the demolition duo is Smash and Crush. So Axe is sitting this one out. I doubt he'll have anything to do with the ending. Um, and
Yeah, there's no way heels would ever want to break the rules. So
yeah,
and
but
there's
yeah,
no way a ref would basically stare at them do it, right? Anyway, sorry, that's like two falls down the road. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, man.
no, you're good. Uh, Crush had Bret Hart in the corner and goes up to try to hit him, but Bret gets his boot up and stuns him. And then Smash, he gets a tag. And then Jim Neidhart, he gets the hot tag. And then Crush just hits Neidhart in the back of it so they can regain the control. Neidhart, he hit Crush with a clothesline, uh, who Crush finally tags back in after um, Smash. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so Crush tags himself back in. Neidhart hits him with a clothesline. And then Hart, he's face to face with Smash again in the ring. And basically, what happens? How the first pinfall is Axe, not Axe, fuck. Smash and Crush to do a double team move on Demolition. Uh,
They are demolition.
from the Demolition to get the first fall. Am I drunk tonight? Oh my god.
You're a 1990 WWF referee.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any clue until this fall happened kind of fast that this was 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, so you
But I
thought it
did
was a
note that
4 minute
no
match?
good. Yeah, I was like, really? God damn it! Heart Foundation and Demolition. There was a great tag match they had. I don't remember when. I don't remember how back when, but it was one of the WrestleManias. I think that was really good. And I believe they also had a pretty decent match pretty recently. Heart Foundation and Demolition always deliver. And I was like, wow, 4 minutes of that? Thanks, assholes. But no. We got more. But they're making an actual effort to get Crush over here, so I kinda wonder if there was ever a plan for him to be losing to leg drops, you know what I'm saying?
Uh, this next fall,
It's
I'll continue it because it's kind of funny.
yeah,
Uh,
Before you do that, we get a nice commentary interaction here where Vince goes, "How important is it to win the first fall?" And then he gets a response from, "Say that again." And then Vince literally just, "How important is it to win the first fall?" Like, he literally just yells it louder. He got his answer though.
Uh, so the Hearts, they were getting their ass kicked by Demolition to start this second pinfall, or the second fall, whatever. Uh, and then the Hearts, they managed to get a running clothesline, and then Smash, he was holding onto Brett's leg, and then Brett was able to get the hot tag for Jay Manville. He does like a forearm hit on Smash, and then he does a power slam for a 2 count. Big power slam from Jim Neidhart, looking
Yeah,
athletic as hell. And
this is a
then
really good comeback actually.
yeah, and then he's doing some shoulder tackles on Smash in the corner, and then the Hearts, they do a double team move with Jim Neidhart hitting a shoulder tackle in the corner again. Bret Hart was now the legal man, but Neidhart held Smash, and Hart hit a. It's called a heart attack, right?
Yeah,
Does move? Yeah. So yeah, he hits it, but Crush, he breaks it up by jumping on the referee.
yeah, not the pin itself. And what happens when he jumps on the ref?
Well, Earl Hebner, he gets up off the ground and he's dazed and confused, but he calls a disqualification.
Oh, so you broke up the pin and got yourself disqualified and lost anyway. Excellent.
Yep. And so now we're even at 1-1.
Really didn't want Smash to take that pinfall,
No, they didn't. And it's
huh? To the point where we'd rather Crush look stupid. Okay, dude. Sure.
like completely jumps over Bret Hart.
Yeah, like doing yeah, like literally like jumped and climbed the tree when he could have just stayed on the ground and got the same result, like an easier result.
It's so crazy to me, man. Uh, but yeah, all of a sudden, we're in this third pinfall. Here comes Axe. Axe comes down to the ring and he goes
Yeah, yeah,
underneath.
sure.
Um, Anvil slams Brett onto Smash, and then all of a
That
sudden,
looked cool.
it did, it did, it
And
did.
kind of hilarious at the same time. He just like throws him face first onto him.
And then all of a sudden, Smash is outside, and Axe and
Yep.
Smash do the Bella Twin switch.
Yeah, dude, they look so much alike.
And so,
You could have maybe got away with doing this with Smash and Crush, but you cannot swap out Axe for one of these, dude. What the fuck was this?
no, yeah, completely different in length. So it's so weird. Uh,
He even went through the trouble of hiding under the ring, like
Dem-
the ref just doesn't care.
and so Axe and Crush, they're double teaming Brett outside, and Smash comes back out from the bottom of the ring, and he starts helping him. But then all of a sudden, you foreshadowed it earlier. Legion of Doom come out, and they're helping the Hearts, beating up on some of the Demolition guys. I'm pretty sure the referee just doesn't give a fuck at this moment, right?
No, the edibles kicked in on the ref. He doesn't give a shit anymore. Like, dude, no one in this match reacted as though they were like the baby faces were being fucked over. Like they just kept fighting Axe as if he had been there the whole time. The ref never paid any attention to him. The ref never acknowledged it that I saw. The only people that didn't pretend this didn't happen was commentary, where they're like, "Hello, what the fuck are you doing? That is Axe. That is Axe." And it just until LOD shows up, no one ever gave a fuck about it. But then like Neidhart gets in, and now the ref's like, "Whoa, whoa, man, hey, no cheating. Stay back there." What the fuck is happening?
I don't know. But I hate that the Road Warriors are here, and they literally became the second worst what am I thinking? Punk rock tag team group. So
I'm excited to see them here, though. I will say that, and I'll explain after we get to the finish of this
they're
match. But
here for good now, right?
I'm pretty sure they'll go back in a little while to WCW for a little bit, but not too long. Like these guys are.
Because I remember the
I
Road
don't really remember to
Warriors
be.
in like a battle royal in mid 2000s on like a
Well, I'm pretty sure
SmackDown.
Hawk dies in like 2003, 2002, 2003. Uh,
2003, yeah.
they were LOD 2000 and like 98, 99, but that wasn't that long. And then Road Warrior Animal was in WCW towards the end of it, of the end of its time.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah, I don't know.
Animal. Animal was in 2005.
Yeah, he was on SmackDown for a while too. Like he tagged with fucking Heidenreich, and they were like Road Warriors on SmackDown. So Road Warrior Heidenreich, hell yeah. See, Demolition. They can also add new members. They will actually add a LOD member pretty soon. For a very strange fucking storyline, but uh, yeah. So let's see. Demolition. They switch places again. That's when LOD comes out, and they attack one of them just in the ring. And the ref's like, I don't give a shit. Whatever. At this point, I don't care.
Yeah,
And then
you
we
guys
get the
do whatever you
lawn
want to
dart
do.
move, where Brett like helps slingshot Jim into the ring, and he pins Demolition. So, which wait, he pins one of them. I don't know. He pins them to win the belts. When so why did we break that first pin up if we're okay with them getting pinned? Like what the fuck? What was that third fall entirely? Actually,
I don't know. I don't know. But the Hearts win and they're new tag team champions.
and the dream feud of Demolition and LOD doesn't even get the tag belts. All right. I'm great. I'm very happy. It's great to see the Hearts get the belts. So that's so cool. Because I feel like we've literally just been watching Demolition be the entire title picture for a fucking ever now. So this is cool.
God, you just gotta love it. Um, but so after the match, Demolition they won't take an interview, and then we see Sherry, and Sherry's just crazy. She's just like, Sapphire is a missing person. And she's just like, oh my God, Sherry, calm down. You know what I mean? Like, this is way bigger than everything. And she was like bragging about her win over Sapphire. And then, oh my God, Sherry, Sherry, Sherry.
I wrote it looked like Sherry, Joy, and Kiss.
She could pull it off. So yeah, I could agree with that. And then
She's
I was,
acting like a straight up maniac too.
and then they start talking about the animals that our Lord and Savior Bad News Brown and Jake the Snake have. Bad News Brown has his sewer rats, and Jake the Snake. So we see the sewer rat in the cage, and then we see Jake's snake Damien in the shower, just taking a shower. Kind of weird. Uh, and then we see Big Boss Man. He's talking about how he'll be the special guest referee. Is there not a better special guest for that match?
Dude, Boss Man was awesome in this show. I feel like even though he was only like the guest referee for no, he was guest referee for like two matches, I thought, or he was out with Hogan,
He was with yeah.
and then he refed the other match. All right, well, Boss Man was so featured on this show.
And then
I
we
loved it.
have a new tag team announcement. It is Hacksaw Jim Duggan
Yep,
and longtime cohort, however you say the word, Nikolai Volkov, who's now repping a U.S. flag.
he's a devoted patriot now, man.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
And then we had, because it's taking so long for this goddamn snake to take a shower. We're gonna do some more interviews. So we have Earthquake, Dino Bravo, Jimmy Hart interview. They were interviewed by Mean Gene and
This was a great promo by Earthquake, by the
yeah.
way.
Oh, where he's talking about how he's gonna beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, like he had a nice girthy monologue and like it had a nice pace to it. He was forced to do the whole like I am an earthquake and all that shit, but he did very well with it. You know who's also been doing very well on the show to this point?
Who?
Fucking Gene Okerlund. This dude is killing it as a backstage interviewer. He does so much more than ask you the question. Like he sets up this beautiful like he has this beautiful setup and just paints this wonderful backdrop for the picture for them to finish painting the art that is this promo. But he doesn't cut the promo for them. And it's a very fine line, and Gene he's mastered it. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't
he's good
remember if
at
he was
being the
with.
instigator.
Yeah, I mean, and he also has that charm to him too, where like people can kind of fuck with Gene, and we'll see this more in WCW, but he'll fucking give it back. At one point, he even like tells a dude in WCW like, "Hey, I know dudes that'll fucking take you out of the kneecaps, so
Oh
fuck
my
off."
god.
Yeah, WCW Gene, especially in 2000s, is wonderful. Anyway, so Earthquake has a really, really good promo here. It is long, but it's good, and it's cool to see stuff like this where the baby face, or not the heel that's being built up for Hogan can actually kind of deliver as far as like a personality go, like as far as personality wise, and like being able to talk himself goes. You think about Zeus. Zeus didn't do anything. He had to have Randy Savage and Sherry talk for him. Andre had Heenan talking for him, and Heenan is there with Earthquake, but I don't feel like he's needed. It's just he's there because it's not Heenan. It's Jimmy Hart. But he's not there because Earthquake needs that. It's there because, of course, he is because he's opposing Hogan.
Yeah. No. I think I don't. Man, it sucks because I feel like they've been pushing Earthquake so much that to give him, not only just a like a shot against Hulk Hogan, but I think if Hulk Hogan would have had a title, then I think this would look better for Earthquake. If you get what I'm saying, like I think it would have propelled Earthquake even more to stardom, like a fan
Yeah, yeah,
favorite or like head face shithead heel.
maybe, but I mean, I get what you're saying. Just I don't ever think that. I think one of the main problems with every Hulk Hogan feud, especially if he has the belt, is that there's no fucking way he's losing it.
Right.
The thing about this one is Hogan isn't champion right now, but another babyface is. So it's possible Earthquake could beat Hogan here to set himself up for an Ultimate Warrior match, but of course that's not fucking happening. So I think in a way Hogan not having the belt makes this match more intriguing for Earthquake. Just because it has more like suspension of disbelief that he could actually beat Hogan,
Yeah, because
you
what
know?
does Hogan have to lose during this match? I get what you're saying. Right?
Well, we don't have to worry about what Hogan has to lose because he's just not gonna fucking lose.
Uh, but after the Earthquake promo, we have a Jake the Snake quit promo.
Dude, this promo here.
What'd you like about it?
Specifically this line where he says, "That hunger is what separates a man like me from a mouse like you."
Mm,
It's,
bars.
yeah, Jake Roberts has probably become the best promo on this show, on this roster. The promo we had last show about Ted DiBiase, and then this one here about like the what I'm trying to think of like the way he more or less describes Bad News Brown, because he's like you're the lone wolf type. You think you're big and tough, but you probably just pick on people that you know you can fuck with. But I'm a fucking killer. Like I'm a man, and that I have that hunger to do better and to get higher on this card and do something here. Uh, Jake Roberts, he's just grown so much as a performer, and it's like still even in the ring, all he does is get his ass kicked and like just sell. But now he's become so much more than a dude with a snake and a DDT that he never hits. Like he has something that about him that you can identify with or you can empathize with and get behind. Like he feels like he's actually fighting on behalf of the fans.
Okay.
I know that
Um,
was a lot about Jake Roberts right there, but
I love that for Jake Roberts. That's our guy. Never won a title, but that's our guy.
some people don't need it. And I know that's like it's just it's a way to like soften the blow of like, oh, they never won any major championship. But uh belts are like, yeah, they're achievements and accomplishments, and it means a lot to win them and to have them, and and like to be trusted to hold them. But like honestly, they're mostly props for the story.
Yeah.
And for Jake Roberts to be a performer that never had the point where they felt like a belt needed to be put on any story of his probably says a lot to his work, I think.
Yeah, like
I
his
mean,
feud
even
with
like
Rick Rude was great.
with who?
Rick Rude.
Yeah, and that didn't have the belt. His feud with Andre didn't have a belt. And like the only reason his feud with Ted DiBiase had one is because that belt wasn't an official belt and it was part of his character. Like him taking the $1 million belt from the $1 million man when he's fighting on behalf of like the poor and less privileged. That's fucking poetic.
Robin Hood,
Like
but with
that's
a snake.
yeah, yeah, but and that would mean a lot more than him winning the Intercontinental or even the WWF title from Ted DiBiase, because at that point it's not about the belt, it's what the belt represents.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm with you.
I've turned a corner on Jake Roberts more or less is what I'm saying, and it's because of his promos. Um and man, we got a Bad News Brown match here, didn't we? For a little bit.
Thank God. Thank you,
But this
Lord.
this has probably one of my favorite moments in the entire the entire show.
But yeah, our next match, it's Jake Roberts versus Bad News Brown. Bad News Brown makes it out to the ring first, and then Jake comes out, and they start brawling before Boss Man comes out to the ring. Uh, Boss Man also special guest referee, mentioned it earlier. Yeah, what'd you think about this match?
Um well, let's see.
Not a
I
lot.
lost my
I
spot
would
on.
be
There's
surprised
not a
if
lot to this,
this
but
match was over
I
4
did
minutes.
this match was actually 4:44.
Oh wow.
Right, I found it. Yeah, he referees dressed as a cop. I love this. And let it be known that Bad News Brown couldn't win because he kicked Jake's ass too hard and couldn't stand long enough for Brown to hit the ghetto blaster. Like that was actually one of the spots there was he was lining up the ghetto blaster, but he had beaten the fuck out of Jake too much that Jake could not make it to his feet long enough for Bad News Brown to hit him with the ghetto blaster. And in the end, it may have cost him. But Brown follows it up by hitting Jake with a padded chair. Fuck yeah. The boss man warns him. He says, "Hey, that's a padded chair, dude. Don't use that one." Uh, Jake takes a hard buckle here, and on his way down, he like throws up the up yours sign. I thought that was rather hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Brown just kind of kicks Jake's ass. He goes up middle, not top, middle, and missed the missed the fist drop, dude. Fucking ow! Can you imagine the pain of coming down from the second rope, fist first, and missing?
It's not fun, man. Not fun.
No, it sounds awful. But Jake finally gets some offense in, and the crowd just starts chanting DDT. Brown escapes the DDT though. So this is where it's implied that he oiled his head so he'd be able to slip out of the DDT easier.
I wrote it down. He reverses it 3 times in this match.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell if this was okay. Here's why I shuddered to like bring this up here. But this was Piper that said this, right? That he suggested that Bad News Brown did this, but this is also Piper, who we couldn't see him wrestle Bad News Brown last show because of the blackface thing.
Yeah.
So like I didn't know what the world was like in 1990 for me to be like, oh no, he's telling us that Bad News Brown oiled head in preparation for Jake's DDT, or if he was just saying something offensive. I don't know. Um,
Knowing
but then
Piper was probably um the more offensive version, but yeah.
but here comes my favorite part. And if you remember, Landon, I texted you during the week and I said, "Have you watched SummerSlam 1990 yet?" Because after I saw this segment, I couldn't wait and I had to talk to you about this. So, Boss Man disqualifies Brown because he hit Jake with the padded chair again. So
Yep.
Brown
Mhm.
grabs the snake.
Mhm.
He tries to commit animal cruelty,
Yep.
and Boss Man stops him and tries to arrest him for animal abuse. But Brown resists arrest and then commits battery on a law enforcement officer. And this is where it gets dicey here because Jake saves the police officer from Brown by chasing him off with the snake, with the same snake that the police officer just saved. This would make one hell of a body cam footage video, and I hope my FOIA requests will be answered soon because I have to see this. This segment was short, but honestly, it was fucking great. I just wish Bad News Brown would actually get to wrestle and have actual fucking finishes. Um, but that's all I got to say. I love this segment. I love the spot at the end. I don't know what the fuck we thought was gonna happen with Bad News Brown trying to leg drop a fucking animal and the timing on Boss Man to save him when he did. What a fucking segment.
Yeah, and where else are you gonna get this? You know what I mean? Where else in the world are you gonna get
Let me
Bad
tell
News
you where you're
Brown?
not gonna get this shit on Great American Bash or Halloween Havoc. Though you will get some shit on Halloween Havoc. When WWE does WWE, it does it so well. When it does entertainment the right way, god damn is it not wonderful. Like I loved this.
Yeah, shout out to them, honestly. Uh, but after the match and after the kerfuffle at the end, we get a demolition interview finally. Um, they said that they're gonna get back their tag team titles and that they're coming for the Legion of Doom too. So
Earlier, when we had the Legion of Doom promo, like they mentioned that they didn't mind to cost Demolition the belts because they respect the Hearts, but they're here to prove that they are the toughest tag team, and they know that that's Demolition. And I thought that was a pretty good little like, story element to add in. It's like this isn't about the belts. This transcends that. This is a dream tag match here, and and Demolicious like, no, fuck that, dude. We want the tag belts back. But they did, say that they would fight LOD and all that. I just figured that you'd want the tag belts in this, but now I guess it's not as like I guess I'm more likely to believe I'll see an actual finish if nobody has the belts. Not that I expect to see one anyway.
right, yeah, like who's getting tagged in that scenario? I
Yeah,
mean,
like
not
which of
tagged,
these
but
four are
pinfall.
you getting pinned?
Yeah,
Although I guess you could pin Crush,
fuck it, yeah,
but
might
it
as
didn't
well.
look like they want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Uh, well, this next segment, if you don't mind,
Yay.
I'll take it over and you can chime in if you want to. Uh,
All right, cool.
but it's a brother love segment. Basically, what happens is good old Bruce Pritchard, right? Isn't that his name?
Yep.
He comes out to the ring. Roddy Piper calls him Blubber Love, and
Yeah. See why I'm like I cringe anytime I read something that Piper said on commentary.
Brother Love calls out new face Drill Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter's here,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
and this guy is presumably like was kicked out of the army or some shit.
he's a traitor, basically, right? Something like that.
I guess.
But good old Sergeant Slaughter's here to give out an award for the most American award, and the
Yeah,
winner of
the
that
Great
award
American.
is Brother Love.
This kind of seem a little on the nose of who this is a villain tailor made for.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan himself. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Who'd have
and
thought?
then Slaughter, he starts talking. He's like, America's weak, and Saddam Hussein, in Iraq would kick America's butt. And then he randomly throws in, but I'm going to declare war on Nikolai Volkov's butt.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of the big issues though and declare war on Nikolai Volkov. I'm hitting him where it hurts, goddammit. I'm doing the real work out here.
Can't wait for
America is too chicken to declare war on Nikolai Volkov, so Slaughter will do it for us.
I can't wait for Hogan versus Slaughter at Survivor Series.
Well,
Team America versus Team Non-America. Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, after that very boring dumb segment, we have the Orient Express with Mr. Fuji. They're being interviewed by Sean Moody. Um, but what
Well,
is that?
also,
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Breaking news? Mean Gene has found Sapphire Cameron backstage.
yeah, and she doesn't give a fuck.
She opens that door and slams it in his face.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. What
Why
is
is Sapphire
Sapphire?
being so weird?
Exactly. Uh, but we kick it back out to the ring for another tag team match. We have our new favorite tag team, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Nikolai Volkov, versus the Orient Express, Sato and Tanaka, with Mr. Fuji.
Yeah,
Not a long
and
match.
now, no, it was where is it at? It was 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Now Nikolai Volkov is on the side of an anthem that he can finish singing.
God bless America. He's actually getting cheers, Cameron.
Yeah. And did Vince say in my notes I wrote, and Vince says, I think, now in quotes, this is going to be dark. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's actually what he said. But either way, this God Bless America gets a huge reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got the second realest American I know in Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then you add a Russian, Nikolai Volkov, and then I'm like, oh, god damn it, can they not sing together?
And and Slaughter's not even out here to fucking he just declared war on this motherfucker.
Yeah,
But now he can't even be bothered to like what the fuck's he doing?
I can already see the teams forming. Hogan, Hacksaw, Volkov versus Slaughter and the Orient Express. I don't know
Yeah,
who their
now and
fourth
then
member is.
I guess you throw Warrior and Rude on there because so you can put the two because you got to have Hogan and Warrior cross paths again so Hogan can be like, I still have that belt in mind, brother. You got
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, because he's about to win it probably at the Rumble or some shit. Uh,
You never know, man.
but yeah, so Duggan and Volkov start this match off by um, they both hit an atomic drop on the heels to knock them outside the ring. Like shout out to them. Um, but what'd you think about this match? Or not long at all. Probably a minute and 30 seconds. It felt like.
Yeah, like I said, it was 3:22. I thought the beginning was a little chaotic in the sense of like the refs are just still made to look stupid in every tag match. Like he sees a double T move from the heels and just pauses until the face come in. The other face comes in and then he stops them. Like there's not even any attempt to not make the refs look dumb, man. They just don't give a shit. Duggan gets a tag, runs through both the heels, a bunch of punches, a fucking bunch of them. Then you get the meeting of the minds, throwing the Orient Express into each other. They throw Sato out of the ring. Duggan hits a big 3 point stanka, and that's the match. Big patriotic moment that honestly was an American Bash, I thought.
Yeah.
Quick and painless match. Just, good stuff. It's cool to see a team like Duggan and Volkov just they're only the only thing that binds them as a team is Jim Duggan loves America and Nikolai Volkov has this newfound patriotism. And that's kind of it. And they get to beat the Orient Express, the foreigners, in a quick little match. Not really that important, but just gives the fans something to a feel good moment to enjoy, a big patriotic moment, which, like I said, was fucking missing from the Great American Bash, other than Sting like wearing red, white, and blue, and you would think that'd be the whole gimmick. But I don't know. For what this was, I thought it was all right. It was a good, nice little match, little short match.
So
Speaking of
bas-
short matches,
basically after we have Dusty Rhodes, he's trying to get Sapphire to open up the door, but Dusty, you got a match. You got something you gotta do right now. So yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Uh, we have this next match. Or my bad. We actually had a Macho Man interview with Sean
I was about
Mooney.
to say, man, don't skip over this Macho Man Throne in promo here. This was fucking
Yeah.
great.
Uh, oh, yeah. So basically, what Macho Man says, he's like, oh, I guess the rumors about Sapphire must be true, man, brother, man. And then he's like, and I know everyone out there wants to see the Macho King.
He said, "You are not what our forefathers were picturing when they dreamt up the American dream. Ben Franklin himself must be rolling in his grave when he thinks of you."
Mm,
Crazy shit.
mm. I love Macho
And
Man.
then a pack of dudes bigger than half of the WCW roster carry Savage out on his throne.
Yeah, and oh my God, it's huge.
Yeah, yeah. Like this is for like Mr. Universe contenders or some shit. Like these dudes are massive.
Crazy,
Uh
crazy.
oh. Ted DiBiase alert. What's happening? He bought
Yes.
out Sapphire. She's rich now.
Yeah. And she comes out and she's wearing all this jewelry and stuff, and he's laughing on the mic and all that. And
Radiating personality, by the way. Like the Sapphire is showing so much emotion.
yeah. So so yeah, Dusty's chasing after he's chasing after Sapphire and Ted, and so Savage he hit Dusty Rhodes in the back of the head with a purse, and then pins him 1, 2, 3. Uh, I don't know. I
Yeah, we
I know we
waited all this time for that.
I know we talked about, it might have been the last WWF. where like I think Dusty's back in WCW by the end of the year, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And
Well, he's gotta have this, Ted DiBiase feud, doesn't he? I mean, I don't know.
maybe I don't know either. But yeah, good for them. So backstage we see Ted, Virgil, and Sapphire with Sean Mooney, and they're going to their limo. Um, and DiBiase is basically saying there's nothing his money can't buy. And then all of a sudden you look back towards the ring and you see Dusty running up the ramp, and then finally he makes it there, and of course they drive off point 0.8 seconds before he's in the frame. And so
Oh, yeah.
he's pissed off, he's so mad. He's saying, Sapphire, Sapphire. You got a good Dusty Rhodes impression?
Sapphire! I don't know, not
That's
really.
not bad. Not bad. I guess money can buy everything.
Uh,
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Ted wants to pay me some money. I'll gladly drop
oh, fuck
Dusty
yeah.
Rhodes.
Yeah, dude, I'll turn on Dusty Rose in a heartbeat for that money. Get me that fur coat, get me that diamond necklace or whatever the fuck.
Oh, God.
Um, so I really was kind of let down with this. Like I waited for the single match and like this is what we got. I'm okay with the Sapphire angle, but why not just have her cost Dusty the match and then make the reveal? Like I feel like this kind of fell flat for the way they did it. We had to watch a whole match just for a feud that had all of its heat taken away
Yeah.
because of the reveal. But like the payoff for Dusty's feud with Savage comes after the beginning of his whole new feud with DiBiase. So like what the fuck are we expecting while this match happens? No one cares now because it's now about Dusty versus Ted DiBiase and 215 for Savage versus Dusty Rhodes. What the fuck? I don't know. The DiBiase promo was fucking great though, but it's just kind of I don't know. I just didn't think this segment it doesn't play as good as they try to make you believe it does, and in documentaries and replays and shit like that. They don't really when they show you the big thing where he bought Sapphire, they don't show you that. Oh, by the way, he still has to wrestle Randy Savage real quick. You know. And I felt that kinda dampened the moment, like, it had been so much cooler, even if it was just a few more minutes, like, they start fighting, now Sapphire comes back and she hits Dusty with something, "Oh, no, what happened?" Ted DiBiase promo. That'd had a bigger shock and reveal, I think, you know?
Yeah. Hmm. It would have been cool
Like,
if it
I'm
was
cool
if he had Elizabeth
good.
and Sapphire.
But then but even then, like, is it that big of a deal if he loses Sapphire if he's still got Elizabeth? But I don't think that Elizabeth was there last match because she was supposed to be with Dusty and Sapphire. She was just there to oppose Sherry, to oppose Sherry and Savage because
Yeah.
she's not on this show. Uh, I don't know if she's on Survivor Series or not.
Probably. I would
But
assume
anyway,
no. Yeah. So weird. So
yeah, I
weird.
don't even think we have that many years of like Savage left in ring before he ends up as a commentator for a little bit
Oh,
before
really?
like taking off and yeah,
WCW.
yeah,
Savage turns 40 next year, so. Huh. And 40 or 42. Right now he's
yeah.
38 years old.
It becomes a whole like youth movement after the Hogan shit is
Thank
kind of over with.
thank God. Give me my Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart already. God, I need it. But yeah, so after the match, we see Earthquake, Dino Bravo, and Jimmy Hart make it to the ring. And then, of course, we can't start a match, Cameron, without a Hulk Hogan interview.
Nope, and he's there with his friend Boss Man. They're boys now. They're the best friends ever.
Yeah, he was saying, like, I saw the tears in the eyes of all the Hulkamaniacs when the earthquake injured him or me. Sorry, I was trying to quote him, but also talk about him as well. Uh, and then Tugboat is injured. I don't know who Tugboat is, but um,
Tugboat, believe it or not, is the guy that will be the tag partner of Earthquake down the line. Like he'll be Typhoon.
okay, I let me look up Tugboat real quick.
He's also the Shockmaster. Someone we talked about before as well.
Okay, he looks. Oh my God, he's a built boy. Hey, Tugboat's still alive. Tugboat, if you're listening, hop on.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to Shockmaster yet, dude. So you can still talk about what life was like before that.
Let's see. Nope, no.
Definitely want to know what life was like after it. Holy shit.
Oh, the
And
Shockmaster.
I think Hogan also I didn't put down any specific notes from it, and it's been quite a minute since I've watched the show. But I did think that Hogan cut a pretty, you know, typical like really good Hogan promo here. And at this point, I've just kind of accepted. I don't. I talk about how like, oh, I don't want to compare, but I kind of just fucking do. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. This show has blown Great American Bash out of the water.
Yeah, it's not even close. Also,
No, it's not.
Hogan, he talks about the Constitution because they're in Philly at the end of his promo. I love that little note he put in
He,
there.
he he also refers to Bossman as Thomas Bossman Jefferson. Um, there's constant references all night to like this is the building where Rocky fucking beat Apollo Creed or what the fuck
Yep.
ever. Like that the shit that didn't happen, but it's somehow the city and the building get credit for. Like that's pretty fucking awesome.
When does speaking about big dudes? Okay, Big Show debuts in 1995. I was curious about that.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a great year for us. There's gonna be a lot of WCW popping up when that crazy shit starts.
I can't wait for
I'll
that.
keep it reasonable. We're not gonna be watching every fucking WCW pay per view, but I'm gonna make sure we get the significant ones
I don't know.
and the crazy
When
ones.
Hogan and Macho Man get there, I think I do want to watch everyone. So
Hey man,
Razor
I'll do as
Ramon,
much.
is he there too?
Yeah, he'll be just Scott Hall though.
Scott Hall? No. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, Hulk Hogan versus the Earthquake. Cameron, what was your opinion on this match?
Well, Boss Man's back. I don't know why he can't just wrestle. You know.
Yep.
Uh, the Hulk Hogan match, big match atmosphere has been successfully built up. I think like it doesn't have the main event of a WrestleMania feel or a title feel, but like this feels like a big Hogan match. Um, Power struggle at first. Hogan goes down to the shoulder block, and then like Hogan regroups. Even tries to be a heel. Like he rakes his eyes, but Earthquake isn't. He doesn't care. He's not phased by it. He beats on Hogan until he fires back, unable to knock Earthquake off of his feet. Eventually knocks him to his ass. Bossman beats on Earthquake, which should be a DQ. But hey, these refs tonight of all nights,
I wanted to add
and
something real
like
quick.
yeah.
Before, Hogan was struggling to get Earthquake down, Hogan spit on Earthquake.
Yeah, Hogan basically just turned heel and wrestled like a heel this whole fucking match.
Yeah. So
Um,
gross.
Eventually, like they're all four in the ring. Like Dino Bravo and Boss Man are all in the ring, and the ref is just okay with it. Whatever. Like Hogan and Boss Man are attacking Earthquake. He doesn't care. Finally, decides to get Boss Man out, and then Bravo attacks while the ref is distracted. Fair play, but also why even try to hide it? Like these refs don't give a fuck. Earthquake keeps the assault going on Hogan, like stomping the fingers. Love this man, like a man after my own heart, dude. I love you for that. Canadian earthquake does a Boston crab, very patriotic moment.
Yes,
Hogan
dude.
can't body slam him and falls to the mat. And guess what? Bear hug.
Dude, and to get out of this, Hogan is like ripping the ref's fucking shirt.
It's the red shirt off. Why did he do this?
He rips it twice. Yeah.
Hogan goes for a crossbody. I love that, but he gets caught for a big slam. The ref doesn't count when he's down, and something happens to me here, man. I feel it coming, and I don't know what it is, and
Is the crowd getting into your veins like you're about to juice up?
I think it finally it came crashing down and hurt inside, and there it was, the Hulk up, and Hulkamania starts running wild.
This man
Earthquake doesn't.
got hit with 2 earthquakes
Yep.
and he kicks out. And Piper is like, "Can you believe he kicked out?" And I wrote, "Yeah, it's Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan."
it's literally what he does. But you know what? It got me. I fucking felt it again, man. But anyway, Earthquake doesn't go down on the boot, and Hogan slams him just like Andre and hits the leg drop. And then Boss Man's distracting the ref for some reason, and Jimmy Hart gets in. What? And then they fight on the outside, and the ref is counting. Hogan fails the body slam Earthquake through a
Through a
table.
table, he misses it.
Yep, and then he wins by countout. What the fuck? Andre lost to the body slam leg drop, but Earthquake gets a countout.
Hey, at least he didn't get pinned. It could be worse. Earthquake could have got pinned.
Well, it was a Hogan match. Far from bad. They did their thing. Earthquake looked great though, despite being like almost literal 1-to-1 copy of every other Hogan feud. And then Hogan poses for fucking ever. uh, Fun little match. I thought. Like I said, I thought Earthquake looked pretty good as you could coming out of this. Hogan did his thing. It didn't have the. It still had the Hogan big match feel. It didn't have the main event feel or the title match feel, but this felt like it was a big deal for Hogan to be wrestling Earthquake. And like I said, it had a little bit more of a believability factor that maybe Earthquake could win, even though I fucking knew there was no chance going into this.
And then post
Um,
match, Earthquake, he goes back in and he's punching on Hogan and starts choking him. And Bossman comes in with like this step ladder. He got like this step stool looking thing. And he starts beating the shit out of Earthquake's back. He hit him like fucking 5 times with to get him to stop. And finally he leaves him alone. His back is all like cut and scratched up. It is so gross.
yeah, he got him, and you see that later on a little bit, don't you? When they have
Right
like
here
this
in a second,
marathon of
yeah.
interviews. But
God.
yeah, there he
Ugh.
goes. Hulkamania is still running wild, even if it doesn't have the belt. And the belt's a different color now, as we're about to see.
Yes, we have Rick Rude and Bobby Heenan being interviewed. Sorry, I got the hiccups backstage. Rude is basically saying like the steel cage match is his kind of match and he has the advantage. I guess he said he's been in one before, which is interesting.
Who, Warrior or Rick Rude?
Rick Rude.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He
Maybe
says
there was one in the Saturday Night Main Event or something.
yeah, and we just missed it. You see they're starting the card for next Saturday's main event. It's on December
Yeah,
14th. Cody versus Kevin Owens. Um yeah, and then Rude says after he wins there will be no rematch for the Ultimate Warrior, which goddamn
yeah, a lot of just Rocky references.
yeah. And then Dusty Rhodes was interviewed by Mean Gene. Dusty was saying it's sad, Sapphire took the money and she paid him back in scorn. Uh So it's very sad to see Sapphire and Dusty break up, but thank God they did, so Dusty can just be a wrestler again. I know
Yeah,
he's
he doesn't give a fuck. He's probably happy as fuck about it in real life.
Yeah. I fucking hated that gimmick.
I don't know what the American dream is, but to me, it would in fact be $1 million man offering me a fuck ton of money to turn against a guy that doesn't even want to work with me. Fucking jackpot. That sounds amazing.
And so we kick it back
Like,
to the
sign
ring,
me up.
and our
Yeah,
guy
sure.
Lord Alfred Hayes is there, and you can
Yeah, and they're
see.
struggling to put a cage together in the
Yeah,
background,
I
aren't
was
they?
about to
Like,
say, you see, they're trying to put the cage together, but it's a struggle for him. But shout out Alfred Hayes, very big from WrestleMania like 1 to 3, and then he just fell off.
yeah. He was
Um,
we had him for a few matches at like one of the WrestleManias, didn't we? In the like we had the 3 locations.
yeah, yeah, he was one of the people. And then for the wrestling classic, I remember he was everywhere,
Yeah,
being
that's
the
right.
creep. Uh, and then so we of course get the Hulk Hogan interview. Uh, he's saying that he's gonna beat Earthquake all around the country, and he wants to take back what belongs to him, which is the #1 contender for the WWE title. And then
Yep.
he I know he exaggerates, but he's like, uh, I got 400,000 cards and letters from the little Hulksters while he was out of action. And then he's gonna like he's gonna dedicate all of his training to the little Hulksters. Uh, Something with the 4 commandments: say your prayers, eat your
Oh,
vitamins, and
dude,
believe in
these are
yourself.
the four. These are the four demandments.
Commandments.
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself. And believe in Hulkamania. He kind of goes into some weird shit like building a new gun or something, and then he like mentions killing a shark or some shit, which is fucking crazy because he doesn't. I don't know if he knows this yet. Probably not. But the man he just wrestled will one day be known as the Shark.
You think he's a time traveler?
I I don't, dude. Honestly, perhaps because like I've seen Hulk Hogan do some crazy shit uh for it being in the 80s and 90s, and it's like shit that I feel like he'd only know if he was from the future.
Yeah, honestly, if we were in the 80s, 90s, and they invented time traveling, like you could send anyone in the world wherever you want. I'm probably sending Hulk Hogan.
You're kind of
Like Hulk, go
like
check out what they're doing in the year 2000.
I saw Hulk Hogan slap his leg on a kick once on these shows.
What you saw him do? What?
Life is a lie. It's a simulation. I saw him slap his leg
Uh,
like to make a kick sound like it was, you know, more of a kick than it was.
yeah.
Yeah. In the 80s, I saw Hogan do this. What the fuck is that? You know, that's not something that was happening in the fucking 80s.
Fuck no.
Hulk Hogan might be a time traveler. Hashtag Hulk Hogan is a time traveler. If if you don't ever hear from me again, Landon,
You're screwed, bro.
they're coming. All right, we got to get this out fast before I leave this room.
And then we get an earthquake interview. He's his back's very gross. A lot, and then a lot of yelling from Jimmy Hart and Dino Bravo as well. And then, of course, before the main event, we're gonna get the Ultimate Warrior interview. What do you think about Warrior right here?
Uh, I mean, it's a good promo, and once you get past the weird ass snorting and the yelling, I
Hulk
think the
Hogan.
belt
I know he's not
little
fighting him, but
like the
I still think about that every day.
yeah, the Hulk Hogan. The I like the color of the belt, like the little custom color for him. It's pretty cool. I don't know. The snorting is fucking weird. That's really all I got. Gene killing it again though. Gene setting it up perfectly for him with his wonderful interviewing skill. Um I don't know, man. The main event, all the main event stuff, kind of was a little. I don't want to say it's not bad because it was like I like the cage match. It just seemed like all of it was kind of par for the course and just kind of bland, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, thank God it was a cage match because that's kind of all it had, which is weird because I think back to I want to say at WrestleMania 5 where I think one of the better matches on that show was Warrior and Rick Rude. And I think last SummerSlam they wrestled and Warrior won the title back, right?
Yes, he did.
And I think both of those matches were better than this one.
Yeah.
Also, these two had the pose down, and that was the best segment ever. So maybe it's just kind of a thing of like, it's cool to see Warrior and Rick Rude get to take their feud and it be for the world title. But
Yeah.
at this point, I feel like we've just kind of done it too much to where it doesn't have
Repetition.
the appeal it used to. Yeah, and yeah, having the cage was cool, but I don't know, 80s or 90s cage matches aren't really that exciting yet, you know?
Yeah.
They try, like they definitely try some shit. I guess I can wait to get into that until we talk about the match itself, but like I don't know. Road Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior promo was like another Ultimate Warrior promo. And it doesn't feel like he's evolved from mid card champion to, like main event champion promo yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, main event Jey Uso. I know you're talking about. uh, yeah, main event time. It's Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior for the WWF Championship in a steel cage. Rick Rude.
Rick Rude said that he couldn't run, and that's a fucking lie because Warrior darted to the ring.
Rick Rude comes out first, of course, and he has to stop the show for his little strip tease. And then Warrior comes out, jumps on the side of the cage, and almost fucking breaks it, dude. Dude, do you know how bad they were struggling to get that shit in? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I noted that. Like he almost tore the fucking cage down, and like what we have done had 20 more minutes of interviews,
Yeah,
or just not had a cage match with that side. Like what the fuck, dude?
yeah. We had to went backstage for the Dusty Rhodes' third interview of the night. Also,
I still can't get the sapphire.
I paused whenever the bell finally rang, and it was like the show had 11 minutes left in it. So I'm like, what the hell? Like the main
Yeah, there
event
really
was
wasn't
so
shit.
short.
Yeah, there wasn't shit to the post match either. Like, oh, see you later.
But what'd you think about this match? Very probably what was it, 10 minutes?
10:05 actually. So yeah, pretty much that line. I mean, like I said, it was kind of what I would expect Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude to be. I think one of the things about this feud was you gotta think about when you add a cage to certain feuds,
Yeah,
who you're like what you're doing by confining those two in the cage. Now it's not like Ultimate Warrior or Rick Rude or people that are getting on the top rope and all that shit, but like Rick Rude's a heel that uses his manager and likes to roll out of the ring and dictate the pace and shit. And now he can't do that. So but I don't think it made the match bad. I don't think this match ever was anything less than just a good cage match.
yeah,
Just like I said, cage matches at this point in time, they're not like anything too crazy just yet. Um But it is interesting to note that I'm pretty sure that at this point, Rick Rude's the only person that we've actually seen beat Warrior.
yeah. Yes, I remember. Yeah, Bobby Heenan held his legs down in that one match. So for the yeah, oh,
Anyway, so Warrior starts to climb in the cage and Rude meets him at the top. He bashes his head in a few times. Warrior jumps off the top, taking down Rude, ping ponging Rude from one end to the other, bouncing him off the cage walls. And eventually, Warrior just runs himself into the cage. And that's where Rude starts to climb out. By the way, pouring blood.
Yes, they
Like,
both
I don't
are.
know when this happens. They both were? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't notice, Warriors because I guess with the paint, I just couldn't tell
Yeah,
what
his
was
was
paint and what
later
wasn't.
on, but yeah, all of a sudden when Rick's climbed to that cage, bro, he is busted open.
Yeah. Uh, Warrior stops him, Rude comes back in anyway. Piper plays it off as Rude being too dazed to keep climbing, so I thought that was a pretty nice touch. Because Rude is selling, like, that dizziness very well at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's only got the advantage at this point because Warrior's fucked up, so he's just keeping him down until he can like get his shit together and climb the cage again. It's a pretty nice little touch, like little story details like that that tell like a broader story or like like a more like detailed story. I mean, like that shit that's important stuff. That's what makes that's one of the things that WWE does so well. Anyway, so Rude goes for the Rude Awakening, but is fought off by Warrior. Warrior goes for the splash, but Rude gets his knees up. Then he gets the Rude Awakening, and instead of going for the pin, he climbs to the top of the cage. And he comes off with a
Jumps
double
off.
axe handle.
I know.
There's,
Crazy, bro.
there's, there's no fucking way this hurt Warrior more than it hurt Rude.
Yeah.
There's no way. But Rude climbs up again, and is hit on the way down by Warrior.
Yeah, and whenever he climbed up the second time, fucking Bobby Heenan is screaming at him to get out of the cage. He's like, "Please, for love of
Warriors,
God."
yeah, like, dude, don't jump again, please, you fucking idiot. But Warrior just got shit hanging off of his face. He makes it over to the door. He then slams it in his face.
That's
Fucking
where he
classic
starts
shit,
bleeding.
dude. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Rude gets only a 2 count off this. They collide on a weird shoulder block and they both go down. Heenan tries to help Rude out the door and Warrior grabs his ankle. Warrior pulls Rude's tights pretty much off. Like pretty much just exposes this dude's ass to the whole world. Pulls Heenan into the ring and punches him, gives him an atomic drop, so Heenan flops like a fish, and it's awesome. Rude takes advantage, and Warrior starts hulking up. He runs wild, gets a series of clotheslines, big press slam. Warrior climbs over the cage and escapes. It's pretty much it. Like, it's a really easy match to watch. Not that long, not bad at all. Crowd's into it. It just wasn't wasn't like the overcomplicated shit cage matches usually become
Yeah, this
in
is like
WWE.
when
But
I'm scrolling on YouTube and I see, oh, Warrior and Rude were in a 1990 steel cage match. Yeah, let me watch that real quick. Only 10 minutes, not too
oh
bad. So,
yeah, I got 7 minutes to spare. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was bells and whistles done pretty well. Like I said, it wasn't anything spectacular, but they made the best what they got. Good title defense for Warrior. Cage match came off as a big deal. Cool to see Rick Rude in the main event. You know, good shit.
Yeah. Well, Cameron, you can start us off. What was your thoughts on the night on SummerSlam 1990?
So granted, I did break this up into several different sittings because of time and all that shit.
Yeah.
I did think this was for the most part a pretty easy watch. There's a lot of stuff to enjoy, a lot of great character work, a lot of great promos. Like every promo nailed it. Nothing was ever really boring or overstayed its welcome, and it wasn't like the 1,000 small match marathon that Mania 6 was. And it at the same time, it wasn't like a bunch of matches that went too long for no reason, like the Great American Bash. So I give this 3.5 out of 5. I did quite enjoy this. I One of the things I was thinking about throughout the weeks is I was like, man, why is it to the point where I think I mostly enjoy every WWE show, give or take a few, like Survivor Series are always kind of a tough watch. But then why does it feel like every other WCW show is great and then the next one's bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's just like WWE knows what it is. It's the moment show, and then so they don't spend too much time giving you anything else. So they have good wrestlers, but they don't need Randy Savage to wrestle 30 minutes on every show. Whereas WCW, they're like, all of our guys are good wrestlers, so they all get 15 minutes, whether or not it's entertaining and has any storyline purpose at all. So when I watch WCW, I'm watching the wrestling show, and the wrestling, not all the wrestling on that wrestling show is world class level. There's just a lot of they have a vast roster, a very deep roster from all the territories. So there's a lot of filler. So, you know, they don't you don't get all the big stars on one show like where WWE will fucking pack them all into it, you know? And hopefully Starcade kind of changes that. Because like I really enjoy Starcade 88. I really enjoy like a lot of WCW that we've seen over the last few years or so, but those shows that aren't good are just fucking not good. And then on the opposite hand of the opposite of that same coin is like every WWE show that is good by like by doing what makes them WWE is fucking great. So sorry, that was a very long monologue.
No, it's good. Um,
And so my match of the night, I believe it or not, dude, I gave it a Hogan and Earthquake.
okay.
uh my performer of the night is gonna be fucking Gene Okerlund. Mean Gene. Um every time this dude got a interview segment to hype up a match, he did exactly what I said. He sets up this perfect story. He tells the whole story for them in this nice poetic way without cutting their promo for them. Because he's not a foundation. He's not an anvil or a tornado or whatever the fuck thing he's supposed to be. He's the backstage interviewer and he does it well. And I thought he added a whole lot to a lot of moments on this show. And I felt like it's been a while since we've given it to somebody that wasn't in a wrestling role, so this was the time to. Promo is Jake Roberts, and Jake he had some very stiff competition. Um, very stiff because there's like two good Hogan promos, a very great Earthquake promo, a fucking Randy Savage promo. Um, but I gave it to Jake Roberts. That line of that hunger separates a man like me from a mouse like you was really awesome. And then the rest are kind of gonna are really gonna lean into that segment because the segment itself I gave to Jake Roberts versus Bad News Brown, and it's mostly because my favorite moment of the night was Boss Man getting involved and stopping the snake murder and all of that shit. I don't know why that shit had me dying laughing, and I
It
enjoyed it
should, yeah.
so much. So I enjoyed SummerSlam for a lot of very strange reasons, but also a lot of very valid ones, I think. And I'm excited to see where we go with you know, Dusty Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. Be cool to see something nice for Savage come out of this. What's next for Warrior? Although I know where the title will be by Mania, and it's probably exactly where you're fucking afraid it's gonna be. Also excited to see Demolition and LOD. That'll be pretty cool, and that also opens up maybe Power and Glory as challengers for the Hart Foundation. That'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff, you know, that I think we have to look forward to in WWF right now. Texas Tornado is Intercontinental Champion. A lot of cool stuff on like, you know, on the horizon. But I'm good. I'm done now. Sorry that was so long. Hope it was entertaining.
Yeah, so I gave it 4 out of 5 King Kong Bundys.
Okay.
Just because I just enjoyed the matches. Like they were short and funny, most of them, and I got to see a lot of the people that I love wrestle. I honestly think if it was Gorilla and Jesse, I could have gave it 4.5. But I can't complain about Roddy Piper. I could care less about Vince McMahon. Uh, Match of the night, I actually gave it to the Hearts and the
Mm,
Demolition. I just thought
it was
the
a very good match.
it was, yeah. I just thought the Bella Twin switch with two guys that look completely different from each other, besides their outfits, was just hilarious to me. And then the Legion of Doom, when their pop they got whenever they came out and saved the Hearts was great. I thought Jim and Brett both wrestled very well. Also for the introduction of Crush was cool. Worst match. Uh, let's just give it to hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Fuck, I guess I'll have to give it to the first match. No offense to Shawn Michaels, but I didn't see him literally in any of the match. He just got
Well, this
killed.
one has a free out of Sherry versus Sapphire.
No, I can't count that. Uh, and promo night. I'm not. Actually, I'm gonna go different. I guess promo, kind of non-promo, but moment was when Dusty chased down that limo. Uh, was great
Yeah,
for me, even though he was never getting there. And they, like I said earlier, they literally waited for him to be in the frame to start driving off, even though they
yeah.
got into the car way before it. Uh, yeah, it's cool to see Legion of Doom. The Road Warriors versus Demolition's gonna be fun. What else? Performer of the night. Uh, hmm. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, Hulk Hogan and Earthquake can tie for it. Uh, but I don't think
All
their
right.
match was better than the Hearts and Demolition though. Uh, but yeah, that's about it for me. Shout out Bad News Brown. Cameron, you got some things you want to shout out?
I got plenty to shout out here. You want to talk about next week?
Yeah, next week we are gonna have Halloween Havoc 1990, a little shorter watch, right underneath 2 hours long. Pretty sure it's like a minute and 50 or a minute. I wish it was a minute and 50 something. It's like an hour and 50 something, right? If you remember.
Yeah, it's like an hour 45. It's really
Hour
not that
45. That's
long
not
at
bad.
all. And I'll be honest with you, I watched this show, and a lot of these matches that I'm seeing on this card just flat out weren't on that card or weren't on that
Oh
show.
wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's very strange.
That's interesting.
Like Terry Taylor, Bill Irwin was not on the version I watched. Neither was Brad Armstrong versus JW Storm.
Bill Irwin was
Master
in.
Blasters versus Southern Boys.
No, the
That was
Southern Boys.
Junkyard Dog versus Moondog Rex was also not on it,
No.
but it was on the card. That's so weird. I'll have to look into that and see what happened. Maybe it's just like the footage being lost or something. But um, we have Sid Vicious challenging Sting for the WCW title. Stan Hansen of all fucking people challenging Lex Luger for the US title. And then Ric Flair and Arn Anderson challenging Doom for the tag belts. And many more matches, but not too many more because they're just not on the Peacock version, at least for whatever reason. But I've also got something else to bring up here. Main event 4 would be coming up very soon. That would be what would be
End of this year,
after
yeah.
Halloween Havoc. Yeah,
Let's
it
go.
would be
And
after Halloween Havoc
we'll be
on the
watching
way
that
to Survivor
live.
Series.
Yeah, I think we'll hit we'll hit that and then we'll hit Survivor Series and Starcade, right?
Yeah. To wrap up 1990. We've had a pretty fun first year of the 90s, wouldn't you say?
I agree. I love the 90s. 90s wrestling is so back right now for me.
And you know what happens between Survivor Series and Starcade?
What?
One Cameron Keast is born.
Yeah, 6 days from when we're recording right now, you'll be born.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah. We're almost there.
Happy early
That
birthday,
day
Cameron Keys.
34 years ago. Oh yeah, sure. Wait, was it really be like not a week before? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, cool.
What's six
So,
days from right
I
now?
guess
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess for plugs, I'll point out you should definitely be following or subscribing to WrestlePodia
On
on
everything.
all of the great things.
Yep.
What we got? We got a TikTok,
Apple
we got a YouTube, we
Podcasts,
got a Apple Podcast,
Amazon.
Spotify.
Yep.
Oh,
Spotify.
Amazon, that's cool. Yeah, all that stuff. WrestlePodia, we're there. Uh, Also, I've recently become a Twitch affiliate,
That's what
so
I'm
help
talking
me
about.
keep that going. Twitch.tv/JetstreamCam. Pretty much how you'd expect it to be spelled. Haven't done too much since the affiliate thing. I'm kind of working on a few things to make my channel look a little more like official and cool. But as soon as I get the chance, I'm really gonna be fucking going hard and pressing the gas on that shit because I really want to do that and have some fun with that. Pro South Wrestling, another thing that I go pretty goddamn hard at and love doing it. We got our anniversary show coming up on December
Yes,
20th.
sir.
Right now, your boy right here. I won the Battle Rumble back in September,
Yep.
and I'm challenging Pro South champion Cade Newton in the main event. It's the first time I've ever main evented the anniversary show, so I'm very excited to do that. And then Joblin Junction on YouTube, the other thing that I do video game related, where me and all my friends get together and play various video games. Been a lot of Lethal Company and Devour lately, but there's other things. I promise. Some Mario Party that's been doing pretty well view wise. We got a nice little Mario Party series going where we've been playing the very first Mario Party. We're playing like every single board, and now I've got all the weird shit unlocked, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. So
It's
keep up with
hilarious,
that,
by the
Joblin
way.
Junction.
As a
Thank
as
you.
an outsider who's watching it, it is funny.
Hey, thanks, man. That's what I want to do is just to entertain. And I think that's all I got to plug, man. I think that's everything for the moment.
All right. Well, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So next week we'll do Halloween Havoc. Make sure to tell Cameron happy birthday on the 10th of December. Um, and yeah, we'll see you next week.